He's throughout the match, he held his position with his shoulder, and he stood up tall, and Levon, in the process of driving for the pin, actually separated his shoulder line a little bit. Hermes was able to get his shoulder into the match, kind of, isolate that piece of the match, and Levon was not able to advance, through Hermes' shoulder. That once Hermes got his shoulder in there, it was set. It was set.
And then I butchered the call by saying Levon was in a king's move when he wasn't.
He was kind of stuck in the top row. Yeah. He was kind of just stuck in that top row position. He was kind of stuck there. But yeah, brilliant arm wrestling. It's a great match. I've watched it many times. I'll say that Levon won. Okay, he won 4-0. And I never really like to, bring the refs into it too much. I do believe that Levon won regardless of the reffing. I think that even if, because I do think, in my opinion, it was like that match was running fouls.
Yeah.
And in that position where Hermes had his shoulder line secured and he was advancing, and Levon's elbow came off the back. No real advantage gained, and I never really liked how they were doing the running and stop foul together at the same time. That was always, I really wasn't pleased with those set of rules. However, even with those rules, it's my belief that should have been a running foul. And I believe it was called incorrectly. And I believe that it's very likely that match would have resulted in either Levon conceding or getting pinned, which may have changed the outcome of the match. It may have, it may not have. I believe it probably would not have. I probably believe that Levon still would have had enough to kind of stand up, regroup, and blast. But it's very interesting, and it opened this great big can of worms.
Oh, it saved the super heavyweight division. With Hermes stopping him, it saved the super heavyweight division. Everyone wrote that match off. Everyone. Just wait. No point having it. We got to stop. And that's all we needed. Everyone. Just wait. No point having it. We got to stop. And that's all we needed. We showed that Levon was human.
You have the armbat cards?
No, I haven't.
So Hermes Gasparini is in there, and he's dressed up as a gladiator.
Yes.
Okay, he's got a sword and everything. And after that match, we added blood to his sword. Yeah.
There it is. Breaking news: Aussie Arm Wrestle will be in the second set of the arm bet cards.
There we go.
Some quick ones in here. Respect from Perth. You were very inspiring and inspired myself to a point that I'll compete for the first time. No questions. Just saying all the best. All love, Commonwealth brother.
Beautiful. Love
Australia.
it.
You're competing at state titles there, buddy. When will Devon go on Joe Rogan?
When the time is right. I'm sure it'll happen.
It's only a matter of time. You're about to hit 1 million subs. I did a poll, who will reach 1 million subs first, about a week ago, and you've jumped about 40,000 subscribers since then.
It's been steady. Right now, the metrics on my YouTube and my Instagram, without me, I haven't changed anything. They're really popping right now. Like, people are paying a lot of attention to the sport right now. I think it has a lot to do with the match coming up, but there's a lot of heat. Like, in terms of subscribers, I had my best month ever, last 28 days. Yeah. So it's going right now. It's hot right now.
I think you'll hit 1 million before the match.
Oh,
I
no,
think you
no, no,
will.
no, no, I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's possible, but it's coming within the next couple months. I think, I'm on a trajectory that I should hit 1 million. Yeah.
Rightly so. Rightly so. Sam G says, "Hey Devon, have you ever heard of Irish arm wrestling? If not, look it up and you'll get a great laugh. Funny pulling it off with someone with long hair."
I haven't. I haven't seen Irish arm wrestling. I'll look that up. Yeah. Thank you.
There you go. I'll get to some more comments in just a moment, guys. Selfishly, I want to ask a couple of questions. Without giving too much away, where will this match be won and lost on the table?
Yeah. Well, I've thought about this match a lot. I've dreamed about this match. I really do my very best to make 1,000 plans. I plan and I plan and I think and I think and I think. And what I do my very, very best to do is to throw it all away. I really do my best when I show up at the event, at the table, to throw everything away. Because it's very important to have a flexible mind, to be able to seize opportunity, and to be not stuck in any system that you have imagined. One of my favorite quotes, never plan past the entry point. This is something we used to say at my old job, never plan past the entry point. And I'll try and embody that. I do envision things going a certain way. I think that this match will not be won with tricks. It will not be won with cheats. I think. What am I saying? Where was I going? Where was I just going?
Why are you lying to all these people?
I can't help myself. I can't help myself. I'm going to pick him apart bit by bit. The thing is we know what he is. We know what I am. Our interaction is interesting. Last time he matched with me, he ran alongside me. Very interesting. He's psychologically very interesting. Who controls the dance? We will see. We will see. I believe that the same theories that are important in arm wrestling will remain. Efficiency, who's holding on to who has their bone line more committed. Whoever can best have these basic principles throughout the match will be in a more dominant position. You want to have people holding on to you. You want to have better bone line. It's very simple, and you want to be as aggressive as you possibly can without being thrown out of the building. And I do plan on winning or getting injured again. I don't want it any other way. It's what I said last time. It's what I'll say again. If I lose and I'm not torn or snapped, I'll be really pissed at myself. But in all my visualization and in all my dreams, I'm winning. And in most of them, I win clearly by round 2. So I know that in the first round, there's just this feeling of immense shock and disbelief. Like, I can't fucking believe it. I cannot believe it. Like, I've stopped the match. Everything's held up. I see it. And I'll be shocked. I know I'll be shocked because it's something that I have a hard time believing. But it's what I see. I see myself stopping the match in a position where he's not quite able to advance the way he wants. And he tries. and he tries and he tries, and eventually the tide turns.
I just feel sorry for Core Sports, Engen, and everyone that paid for the pay-per-view, because if that happens round one, the internet just blows up. Like, it will collapse and swallow itself in its hole. We will enter the Matrix.
I do think that if I win the match, it will. I think that this match will cross heavily into the mainstream.
Yeah,
I
especially
do think, yeah, I think that the story, if I win, is very significant from a broader athletic perspective. You know, my age, my size, comparatively, I think that greater sports will pay attention to this accomplishment. You know, I think that, obviously the whole strength world, the fight world, the bodybuilding world, I think that they're really going to know, but I think it's going to cross into things like the NFL, NBA. I think that a lot of athletes will hear about it and see it. And I think it's very excited, Ozzy. Very excited.
Mate, the whole arm wrestling world is excited because, like, if that happens, I mean, some of your relationships with these top influencers, so they're going to have eyes on the match anyway. And what do you think's going to happen when you win? They're going to then share it around, and yeah, for someone under 1 million, whether it's Instagram or YouTube, your reach has been astronomical. It has just been ridiculous of what, whether it's, Lex's podcast, Mike O'Hearn, like Charles Sonnen, tweeting about you, like that is just insane.
It's going good, buddy. It's going good. The whole sport, I think that a lot of why it's gotten so hot is because of East versus West and King of the Table. I think that, and really, I gotta just take my hats off to Engen. Engen has really transformed us in terms of the best arm wrestling product. Forget, and the thing is, he's packaged it up so that it's such a treasure for us as arm wrestlers in the arm wrestling community. Like, we have the top arm wrestling matches all the time. This was not this has never been the case.
No, well, it's 8 or 9 times a year. Like King of the Table and East versus West.
Right, and this has never happened in our history. Like, I don't think you could ever go back and be like, yeah, the best guys in the world get together every month and a half or so.
Yeah, every 6 weeks.
This has never happened. This has never, ever happened. And the production is good, the anticipation is good, the hype is good, the community knows. And so I feel like our nucleus is just so strong, and it's just spinning now. And everybody now who comes into the sport sees this, right? Like, now when they're coming in, they're not like, oh, that was a good match. Oh, that was a good match. That was a good match. No, they're like, oh, these are all great matches. And there's East versus West. And it's happening every month and a half. And this is coming up, and this is coming up, and this is what we look forward to. I just think that now the sport is on a different trajectory. And, Engen was such a psycho athlete. Like he was so crazy as an athlete. And now I feel like he's taken that same energy and he's turned it into promoting. And I think we're very lucky.
It's building. This will break all pay-per-view records. I think it'll break the King of the Table one. I think it'll be the #1 selling pay-per-view of all time. I think it'll break the record. Easy. If it hasn't already, and we're still 19 days away. Whether you like Engen or not, for me, that's just what's gonna happen.
Nobody.
I think it'll shatter it. I think it'll shatter it.
Yeah.
Like by a lot. I won't drop numbers, but it'll shatter it by a lot. All right, quick few things, guys. Just quickly, shortly, Devon, will you go down to 115 after this match?
I think so. I really don't like to look past the match too much, but the thing is, I'm 115 right now. Really, if I want to be like, I could be 115 in 3 days. So it's not really me going down to 115. I am 115. But yeah, I will probably. We'll see, and that's the thing. I don't really want to say too much. The outcome of the match does matter. It really does.
Yeah, that's very important.
It is
very, very important. I know I don't want to disrespect Levan. I love Levan. Do try to crush my head, legit. But it is, I do think, more important for the sport for you to win, or at least pin him.
We'll see how everything goes. I wish Levon the best in this. I do. I also really just want to win. I want to beat him very badly. But yeah, I don't really want to say exactly what I'll do. There's a very, very high likelihood that I do come down in weight, though. Very high likelihood.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we'll speak about weight in a moment. I'll just knock off some of these awesome chats from everybody. Sam G789. One person balls a fist and pulls it up towards their shoulder. You pull their fist down at an angle, and then you let loose. Makes them punch him in the face.
Oh, that's Irish. Is that Irish arm wrestling?
Maybe. There you go. Right, love that he's calling you a
I think I saw that on Cheers.
Where everybody knows.
Yeah, I think they did that on Cheers for a while. Yeah.
Okay, so if Devon stops Levan, high chance he wins. Good luck, Devon. Thank you very much, Agent of Chaos. Mexico rules again. Devon, can you please explain this curse that was spoken about where somebody beats you, then they get hurt, and you come back and beat them? Will history repeat itself?
Well, I don't know. I typically do well the second time I pull people. Typically, a lot of people that beat me the first time, I come back and I beat them. It happens. It happens quite regularly. But getting injured, is that the curse part? I mean, maybe. Really, I guess you really just got to know that I'm pretty good at learning from my losses. If you beat me, I'm pretty good at understanding why you beat me. I'm pretty good at being honest with myself and being like, he beat me because of this reason, and then I just work. I work that spot, and I turn that weakness into a strength. And the ceiling is very high with Levon. It's very high. But I have been marching for a year and 10 months continuously with the information that he provided me. So we'll see if it's enough. We'll see.
There you go. Constellation Pegasus says, I'm new to all of this. Looks pretty exciting. Is Devon a working class hero person?
Well, I think I was much more. I retired in 2016, 17. So I was a working dude. I was a military guy for basically my whole career. Grew up on a farm, and so now I'm retired. So am I a working class guy? It's not like I'm going to eating Grey Poupon all the time and driving around in fancy cars or nothing like that. I have regular cars. I have regular issues. I'm not loaded or anything. So
I think you've done enough for your country. The short answer, buddy, yes, he is a working class hero. He's done enough to now enjoy what he's done for the sport and what he's done for his country. Jon Bjornsson is in there. Bjornsson says, hi, Devon. If you're down 0-2, will you risk an arm break to stop Levan? What will it take to get you to Iceland to help promote the sport of Viking?
Yeah, I'd love to go to Iceland. Yeah, you guys got all sorts of monsters there. I'd love to go and train with you guys. I'm surprised I haven't yet. I imagine that I will at some point. Really, it's just timing and opportunity. I'll get there. I'm sure I'll get there. Uh, if I'm down 0-2, forget being down 0-2. I'm risking it round one. Okay, I'm throwing my frame in right from the very beginning. I will expose myself to injury. Really, I mean, not irresponsibly. Like I'm not trying to hurt myself. I'm trying to win the match. It just so happens that in arm wrestling, you can use your structure, both in an inside and outside capacity, where you kind of put your bones and joints kind of in the way, and their integrity is kind of your last line of defense and strength. And you can feel it and stick with it, and when you feel that they're about to go, you can relinquish the pressure, or you can stay in the fire, and well, all in, all in.
Well, it's the only way you can do it against the strongest athlete in the world.
Yeah, you got to be all in. You
can't pull punches. Rick James, another Canadian, he says, judging how Hermes did with Levan, you got this. Music guy says, Levan only has a 5% chance of winning, and that's only if Devon has explosive diarrhea.
5%. There we go. The statistic, the math on this match is all over this place. It's all over the place.
Oh, it's going to be great. We're into our block 7 in arm bet, but it's you that sells out.
Well, it is a shutout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, it's
Yeah.
interesting, you know?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's the way
any side pressure at all? Just from Cameron here?
Least of my concerns, Cameron. The least of my concerns. Yes, of course. I worry about all of Levan's ability. That's the least of them. That's the least.
Well, for me, mate, things happen for a reason. I don't want to add more pressure or put things to you. But I speak quite often to Rory.
Oh, yeah.
And, hey, mate, any updates on the documentary? Can I help out? He sent me the trailer, the 12-minute trailer. Holy shit.
Nice, eh?
Was that unreal? But then it was like, this isn't happening. And I can imagine, frustrating at the time for Rory. But now we're getting the camera back out.
Yeah. Yeah, everything's looking really good.
Could we get the ending that we want? Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, all I can do is control my end. And I'm as good as I can be. I'm in the best shape I can be, mentally, physically. This is the best I can bring to the table. This is it. And between now and then, I will just harden. So, yeah. All in, man. All in. And the thing is when you I like what the last guy said, about the Hermes match, because I used the same comparison when I pulled Hermes. I said, just look at the Dave match. Just look at what happened when you pulled Dave and look what happened when I pulled Dave. And I said, if you just go by that alone, I'm going to beat you. Now, if you do the same thing with the Hermes match, the same thing, he didn't even pull me round one because he was not able to even get his head into the match round one. Round two, a nice solid defeat. And then I just destroyed him, so badly that he didn't want to come back to the table. So if we just look at that singular match, well, I'm going to beat him.
Hey, when has arm wrestling maths failed us in the past?
Right?
Guys, hold off on the super chats because we've only got 5 more minutes with Devon. 5 more minutes and he's got to get on with his day. We've been very lucky enough to get this long. So hold off on the super chats. That would be great. Constellation, thank you very much. Says, I wish Devon well, like his smiles. When we come to Sweden and have some arm wrestling, says
Definitely. I plan on actually bringing people to Sweden with me. A lot of people want to go to Sweden. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. I go next door. I go to Norway every year, and that's brilliant. So I love it there. Devin, how much love and energy from Tijuana, Mexico. Will you prevent bicep power by not letting him supinate?
He can supinate all he wants. He can supinate as much as he wants. I'm not worried about his supination, really. Right, I'll tell you, I gotta be careful with these live streams because I start to get too excited. I start to get way too excited. It's not time for me to be confident yet. I have to still.
And then to go on the show with the most excited person, the most energetic person, that's definitely not going to help when you're relaxing in bed, that's for sure. But so if you want to give it away, you can knock back this question. Weight now and what weight you want to come in at?
My weight is good. My weight is continuing to go up. So this morning I was like 272, okay, which is great. 272 for me is actually, it's quite heavy. It's heavier than I've been. Geez, I don't remember. I think like when I pulled Hermes, I think I was like low 260s or mid 260s at the best. So I've been pretty consistent in the prep. I've been like high 260s, like 267, 268, 269 most of the prep. And just in the last week or so, I've started to climb as my workload has really started to come down. But yeah, 272 this morning. I think I'll probably be, morning weight, a solid 275, 277. Just these last couple weeks, I'll probably put on water and, add glycogen and just really come together. If I hit 280 morning, I'll be very surprised, but it's not impossible. But guys, the weight is not the most important thing. The important thing is the strength and health of the arm. And this is not measurable on a weigh scale. The strength and health of my arm is like 500 pounds. If you were to compare it like that.
And your bicep looked weird. You post that photo on Instagram.
Isn't that weird? Right? It's strange now. And it's like he tore the inside piece of it, and it never really came back. But the thing is, the outer piece got stronger. Like the outside of my bicep compensated, and now it's like all like twist. If the light hits it right, there's tendinous structures and like there's the muscle it looks like it's exposed at different. It's different. Like my bicep looks very different than it did pre-Levon. The injury, it definitely reshaped my bicep. I do heavier lifts now. Like it's not any weaker. And because it's been torn by him before, I like to think of it like an immunization. Like I like to feel like it's been immunized. And now it can't be hurt by that person anymore.
Man. It is all happening. Sergeant Tank 420 will be the legacy redemption. You will find a way, kick ass, brother. But more importantly, from Ali, Jake, when is the pay-per-view available? As it's not on the Core Sports app yet. My advice: stay off the app. The link is in the description. Go on your laptop, find a computer, go through the website. It has been available for about 6 months. I think as soon it was announced, you could get the pay-per-view, and you were able to buy 4 or 5 pay-per-views in a package, and you'd be mad if you didn't. So go to the link in the description. I would suggest to stay off the app. Go to the Core Sports website. You'll have zero problems.
One of my favorite quotes, by the way. We will find a way. One of my very, very favorite quotes.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Just 2 seconds, and then I got one last question, and then we'll roll out. Thoughts on a flop by Levan?
Did you see my Canadian Idol audition?
It was terrible.
Really bad, right? Really bad. But I think that's my thoughts on the flop. I'm unfloppable. Unfloppable today. Unfloppable today.
The Spermies and Benji Mac were saying. What's the next thing? It was corn chips, pancakes, only training thumb. Now the whole world is doing your riser lift. Before you answer that, do you watch a lot of these riser lifts, and do you get frustrated if everyone gets it in the wrong position, or they're doing it wrong, or they debate?
People are way stricter than I am about the lift. Way stricter. Okay, like basically, you know, and I cheat my own lift sometimes. You know, like the level of scrutiny to this lift is tight. It is tight. It's a great lift. Look at that lift. You know, you should try and keep your angle like relatively close to the floor, but whatever. As long as there's some consistency, it doesn't really matter. As long as you are consistently doing the same thing, it doesn't really matter. So long as you wrap it around your thumb, you know, as long as you don't try and angle the thing all the way down to your elbow, you know, that's probably good. The wrist kickback reflection, I'm not really fussed. The thing is this lift, in my opinion, direct transference. It's one of the few lifts. Look at the lifts that I do, they all have direct transference to the table. The rise or the roll, the high cup, the low cup, the press, you know, even the grip work. It's directly transferable. Yeah, it's a big deal.
And so what's the next thing? How are you going to change the game? Are you just going to say, hey everyone, if you just smell cheese, just smell cheese, and you can conquer arm wrestling?
I don't know, I'm gonna have to think of something. But yeah, I feel like this one's still running hot, so we'll let this one burn out, and then I'll try and throw something new in the fire, I guess.
We'll give us one last flex, and we'll wrap up the show. Show everyone it's
not that big, but big enough, maybe. Big enough.
It is there. Are you going to see? Oh, hang on. Can't wait to see this match. My man Timmy's going over. He's going to Turkey to check it out. It is there. Even though this guy hangs a lot of shit on me, he's come to the show to ask you a question. When are you going down to see Brian Shaw?
I think sometime in May. Brian and I have been talking. Probably sometime in May. I'm going to go down and train with him. Yeah, I'm going to just try and make things so simple. I'm going to try and simplify it just to the maximum form. Get strong like this, get strong like this, get strong like this. Spend time on the table with people who are weaker than you. Hold them, just get comfortable. Spend time on the straps. Do this for rehab. Repeat. You know how to get strong. Do it better than I do it. That's it. You know, yeah, I think, you know, when I look at Brian Shaw, holy shit. Like,
you make Derek look small.
It's not going to take long. I really don't think. No, it's not going to take long. That guy, if once that guy understands that you don't hold on. I don't look it. Okay, I know we're pretty much done. Jody's going to start to come and get me here in a minute, but I very much, when I bring people into the sport, the first concept I make them understand is don't hold on to people. You know, don't do it. And it takes just a minute or two for people to figure that out. You know, and when I say a minute or two, they can be a lot longer than that. But once people realize the position and efficiency that they can get to through the post, is very powerful style. I would teach any athlete pretty much post base. This is the base. This is where arm wrestling starts. It's in the post. And fight for the post. Fight for post supremacy. Counters that come off of the post. Um, I think that when you start a person in a hook, it's just you're fucked. You're fucked. Yeah, no end of trouble. So yeah, I'm gonna try and realign them into a post-base style, and fuck. Good luck. Good luck holding on to that. Good fucking luck. And tell me he won't have the strongest fucking post. Like, ugh, terrible. He will be terrible to arm wrestle.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And that's it there. You've heard it from the man himself. He's single-handedly carrying the sport on his shoulders. I'll praise people. I'll tease you Canadian Idol audition, but you are carrying the sport on it, and we are 19 days away from not only the biggest rematch of all time, but it is probably overtakes you versus Dennis as the biggest match of all time on the right arm. It is Devin Larratt versus Levan Saginishvili, April 20th. Do not be that person that misses out on watching it. You are whoever wins, and whoever wins this match will create history. Can we all please thank Devin for taking an hour out of his time, especially so close, 2.5 weeks before the biggest match of his career. Mate, thank you so much for your time. It is greatly appreciated.
Thank you, brother. All the best, guys. Yeah, stay massive, everybody.
Welcome back, boys. Just got back from the gym. Let's get into it. From Psych Hacks, women do the right things with the wrong men.
And the topic of today's short talk is women do the right things with the wrong men. So I've already done this episode from the men's perspective. Today, I'll be discussing this phenomenon from the women's perspective because, boy, oh boy, do women do the right things with the wrong men. Make sure that you listen to the very end, okay? To illustrate what I mean by this, let me share an anecdote from my personal life. Many years ago, the woman I was dating had a girlfriend come into town, and the three of us went out to dinner together. And over the course of this meal, it became apparent that this woman didn't yet have a place to stay for the night. The woman I was seeing invited her to stay with her, but this woman's solution was to text a guy she had gone out with a few months ago. The plan was to meet him out for a drink, go back to his place, spend the night with him, and then get on with whatever it was that she came into town to do. Now, the guy doesn't know this yet. This is just the woman's plan for the evening. When we expressed our concern, she tried to reassure us by saying, "Oh, it's fine. I don't really like this guy. So it's okay if I just use him for the night." And I remember turning to the woman I was with and asking her if she might try liking me a little less. So this was a joke, but like all good jokes, there was some truth to it. Ladies.
So I'll translate that for you. She was coming into town, found a dude that she was going to sleep with just to get a place to stay for the night so she doesn't have to pay for a hotel. This absolutely does happen. This guy was not probably, sometimes it's just a completely random dude, but chicks, if they used to live in the area, they have like a little rotation, a little orbiter pool of dudes that will literally pick up the phone and she'll say, "Hey, I'm in town for a night or two. What are you doing?" And they've already planned to sleep with you. They already planned all of this in their head prior to even leaving, just so they can save a little money. They'll give the guys that they don't see anything long-term with, sex, attention, everything that guy would ever want if he was to take this woman seriously. But the guy she likes has to go through hoops. How crazy is that? That's the inverse. I have had this happen to me when girls would leave town, maybe for school or whatever it was, and I would stay in the same town, and every once in a while they hit me up. "Hey, how have you been? Haven't talked to you in a long time. I'm in town for a few days visiting family, doing this, whatever, visiting friends, hanging out, blah, 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 blah." is basically their way into Weasel sleeping over at my place for a few days. We're doing everything and anything you want. And then she goes on her merry way. And then on her Facebook or her Instagram or whatever her social media, it's the boyfriend back home. It's the, oh, I'm now married 3 months later. It's maddening to be on the other side and see it happen. When you're actively pursuing a chick and she knows that you like her and you show that you're more interested than she is, she's absolutely going to treat you like a fan. This is why you have to vet them hard and have extreme boundaries as a man, and you never let up on your main goal, which is you, your family, your dog, and she has to come in like fourth place. You have to be so outcome independent to the point where she has to flip in her mind that she has to chase you. She has to get your attention. If you don't instill this from the beginning of the relationship and you've been the one chasing her, you're constantly pursuing her, your relationship's never going to last. It'll never even develop in a relationship. She's going to just make you jump through hoops. You're going to be the foodie call dude. You're the nice guy, and she's always going to get her fixed. You need to understand this, dude. They're not dainty little flowers like society makes you believe. They have high sex drives too. If anything, maybe quite a few times I've been shocked that a woman's sex drive is higher than a man's. I'm telling you, if she genuinely has attraction for you, she wants it every single day, multiple times a day. Everything else you've been told was bullshit. If your woman has ever told you, my sex drive isn't that high, I just don't want it as much as you, she doesn't like you. That's why. I'm being completely honest, because when a woman is absolutely infatuated with you, she's ready to go at all times, any time of the day. I'm telling you, it's an attraction problem. She doesn't have a sex drive problem. If you put the perfect man in front of her with like perfect stats, 6'6", six-pack, absolutely ripped, deep bank accounts, handsome as hell, supermodel looking, you think she's going to say, my sex drive isn't high enough. I just don't want it as much as you. Bro, you're getting the maintenance sex in your relationship because you keep pursuing your woman instead of having her pursue you. You're not the prize. Why would you try otherwise? Guys don't understand this. When you play the nonchalant, when you're the busy dude who's got a bunch of stuff going on, when you've actually have a business to build and, you know, money's coming in and you could afford to go to nice places and you're always seen out doing stuff, or you could even use Instagram as a form of pre-selection and show yourself like going all over the world, doing all sorts of stuff. It just shows that you have money, you have the capacity to travel, you're doing well in life. She'll start chasing you. They insert themselves into your life. This is what women do. She wants to insert yourself in the highlight reel that is your life. If you build it, they will come. That's essentially what it is. Women move in to a man's space that he's built. That's the game, dude. Until you understand this, you're going to keep failing, you're going to keep chasing, and you're going to keep having to jump through hoops from all these women that literally give it up to the guy who doesn't give a shit about them just for showing up in town. Crazy, huh?
If you call me up, invite me out for a drink, come back to my place, have sex with me all night, leave in the morning, and don't communicate with me until you're ready to do that again,
Perfect.
I guarantee I won't feel like you don't like me. What's more, I will feel very positively about you. From the man's perspective, that woman's plan had an extremely high good times to hassle ratio.
She was great.
The interaction was easy, effortless, fun, inexpensive, convenient, and sexually satisfying. If you treat a man like this, I guarantee that he will want to see you again. This is because men do not encounter high good times to hassle ratio women very often. Frankly, y'all can be a real handful. So if you give a guy a lot of what he wants and not a lot of what he doesn't, he will text you back. He will answer your phone call. And in the vast majority of cases, he will attempt to replicate that encounter sooner as opposed to later. Because you gave him an extremely positive experience, even if only once, he will often go to great lengths and expense to make it happen again. And isn't that what you want? A guy to go to great lengths and expense for you? Unfortunately, this woman kind of wasted this experience. Yeah, she got a place to stay for the night, so she saved a few $100, but she didn't really like the guy, remember? In fact, she didn't even live in the same town, so it would be difficult for her to get much more out of the relationship, even if she did like him. Imagine if she had done this with a guy she actually did like and who was in a position to offer her a relationship. She could have saved a few $100,000 while spending her nights with a man she actually felt positively about. That's the power of a high good times to hassle ratio. But what do women do when they meet a guy they actually like? First and foremost, they often want to take it slow. Women seem to have this belief that having sex too soon somehow disqualifies them from a long-term relationship. It does not. On the contrary, as we'll see, it's waiting too long that generally does. However, what taking it slow functionally does is make the courtship process significantly more expensive for the man. Like, expensive in every possible way. It's expensive by way of time, attention, money, effort, opportunity, and often frustration. Men do not feel liked when you make them jump through hoops to get sex. Men do not feel liked when you give them less of what they want and more of what they don't. Men do not feel liked when interactions with you are difficult, effortful, serious, expensive, inconvenient, and sexually frustrating. Are you listening?
No, they're
In the
not.
second case, when a woman meets a guy she actually likes, it tends to arouse her insecurities because she is now in an emotionally risky situation. After all, if the guy she didn't really like doesn't like her back, she might not bat an eyelash. However, if the guy she does like doesn't like her back, she might be significantly distressed. So women attempt to shore up their insecurities in a number of ways, including testing a man's interest